Hello again. Let's begin. Yes, of course I realized you asked for just one, but of the first three I could not choose one but two, and one of the final three. On what basis can a movie about a fictional character, a fictional dictator, have anything to do with our real, flawless, and perfect democracy? When looking at this, I do not see fictional. What I see is a reflection of a possible reality, of which our own is headed. The proof is predominantly noticeable in the American government, with powers and ground being gained by the American president. Each day they gain more ground, and the people lose more of their rights, and their liberties and their freedoms. Worse yet, being a democracy, you should ask who gives them the right to do such abominable actions. Of course, you have only yourselves to blame. But I do see why you did it. Your ignorance and your own fears control you, and they have perfected controlling your ignorance and fears, making them a tool against you. You should have learned long ago that your emotions would mislead you, and they would betray you. If you would kindly wake up long enough to look around you and witness the true intentions of those in charge, then you may stand up and do something about it rather than sit idly by. Why do you believe that any person who just happens to be capable of hurting anybody in charge, any of these elites, in the public eye, in your eye, they become your enemy? They become the bad guy. What is it they have done to obtain such a fabricated label of deviancy to the public he is trying to protect? A man should turn on a corrupt government to protect the people, and you all turn against them, for they are the deviants in your eyes. The problem is that you, the public, determine what a deviant is, and those in charge determine what the public thinks, how you should feel, usually by means of fear. Someone gets accused of being a terrorist, and suddenly, here we are back in the times of Salem, and here we have the government crying witch. You do not question. They have your best interest in hand. They care about you, your well-being, don't they? They tell you the enemy is on your doorstep. You're facing terrorism, war, death, poverty. You must make your decision so naturally. You turn to those with the power to do something about it. They claim they can protect you, look out for you. In return, they ask for your complete obedience and blind faith to their intentions and actions. Masters a sleight of hand. While watching the hand you believe to hold the cards, the other hand is robbing you of everything you have. I do not mean your wallet or your watch. They're taking everything you should have since birth, your rights. It's understandable that time is a powerful tool also. You're so consumed in the necessities of life to research everything that arises. You're under a false impression that everything you have to this point cannot be taken away. They assure you of this even as they stand before you, retracting them before your very eyes, and you believe them regardless. As a whole, society is theorized to function like a machine or a living organism, requiring many of these necessities as to which humans require in order to survive. In order to survive, we must consume. You have all become consumers, surrounded by what you feel necessary. Rather than get my mind all tangled up in requirements of society, allow me to look at a few that have become essentials to the human's mind. Food, security, and shelter. You need these. You think you need these. These things can be used to trap you. Nothing is free, you require work, an income to afford these necessities, these luxuries. Welcome to the working class. You'll end up running more necessary machines for society to continue. Making enough money to get by, not enough money to move up in the world, but enough to get by. You do the work, you follow the rules they set, and you do as they say. They'll pay you just enough to keep you coming back. Time is not on your side to focus on the important things in society and the status of society. You see, you elect someone you feel to be trustworthy, and you take them on face value of what they say from then onwards. In terms of a monetary equilibrium, I hear people say, why doesn't the workforce, in its entirety, stop working? Force those in charge to implement a fairer environment with more equality to the profit of the corporation. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. Should one part of a machine stop working, do you think it would change the programming in the machine hoping for another outcome? No. No, you remove the parts that have halted their functionality. The machine continues to be prosperous, and the malfunctioning parts are tossed to the wayside. There are 7 billion people on this orbiting gas ball that, while only a microscopic proportion of the population runs everything, what remains is not likely to take your side in standing against the oppressors. They'd claw over you to receive the scraps in which you are now refused, and take your place as a new cog in the machine. Do not think numbers are your friend. They're not your ally, but your enemy. They will not stand by you, and certainly not assist you in your futile campaigns, try as you might. They see not a system for what it is, but they see the system for what they want them to see. Opportunity. Opportunity to make a living, to stay alive in this charade of a cruel world. I feel I may have gotten a little off topic. It is easy to do on such a large topic with so many areas to explore. You see, while you are blinded in your own petty lives, chasing that small paycheck so you can afford that roof you call a paradise, those in charge gain more ground, more power, and it is you that grant them that power. They ask, and the majority will inevitably say yes. The majority is all that is required, unfortunately. The world to them is as the government tells them it is. I shall not skip over them. Although you may hate them, I must insist that the police are not the culprits here. Society as a whole is an image of a veil over the eyes of the people, keeping them in the shadows where they belong. And in the shadows they will be kept safe. The police, they are merely the wireframe that upholds the veil, maintaining it above all. The police officers are not bad themselves, however they are powerless to the law. They are law enforcers, and thus must uphold the law without question and without hesitation. The problem being, the law is as the elite say it is. I have seen enough men and women in the force broken down, reduced to tears over how powerless they are in situations they know are wrong, but the law says they can't do anything. It doesn't matter who you are, what your intentions. If labeled a deviant, you will be a deviant in the eyes of society. And these enforcers will come down on you with the full extent of the law's power. I feel I may have left out some pieces, and I apologize for doing so. I sometimes skip over many things when writing something on large scales down. My mind moves noticeably faster than I can write, and noticeably faster than I can talk. Branches off too much, and I rarely convey the point I am trying to make.